It is October 23rd, 2020, Friday Night SmackDown on Fox, actually on FS1 tonight, because there's a little thing called the World Series going on, which I wasn't aware of until I went to turn on Fox tonight.
I used to watch that every year. I did not
know.
even know the World Series was happening either.
The things that mattered when we were children that do not matter anymore.
Nope.
This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn Rubenstein. He's Matt Morgan. And because we care enough to send the very best, we're here tonight, whereas those other jabrones couldn't be bothered.
Guys, blow their Twitter up. Seriously. Call them out for being lazy and too good to talk to you guys on a Friday night.
Seriously. You should hear the way they talk about you behind closed doors.
Seriously.
And Matt and I are like, but they're our fans. They show up. They're great. And they're like, screw the fans. I do this when it suits my schedule.
Pretty much.
They're horrible people. I'm
in the middle of campaigning right now, and I do not miss this show with you guys. Glenn is super busy. Same thing.
I've got a business I run. There was a house party, a reunion that was supposed to happen tonight, and I was going to skip watching that for this podcast.
It's dedication.
Kid was going to be there. Play was going to be there. Oh, yes.
Really?
Martin Lawrence.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah. No Robin Harris. May he rest in peace. I was talking last night. Who are they going to get to do Pops to play Robin Harris's role? He's like one of the best parts of the movie. I'm really excited to see it. It's supposedly being postponed, rescheduled, but love me some House Party. 30th anniversary of House Party. What
was their reasoning? What happened?
Oh, it's a fundraiser for Rock the Vote. So Rock the Vote's a nonpartisan organization to get out. Yeah. Used to be to get out the young people. Remember, we'd see the cool MTV ads.
MTV, yeah. Those were cool at the time and very cutting edge, actually.
Yes, and now MTV doesn't exist. Does MTV still rock the vote? I don't think so.
I don't even know if MTV is a thing.
It is, but I think the show like reality shows.
So why didn't this show happen tonight, though?
This is what happened, and the same thing happened when they tried to do the Fast Times at Ridgemont High reunion, and they had to reschedule it. Because I think what happens is they get ready to go on the air like an hour before, and they realize that all these Hollywood actors that are highfalutin and a little older have no clue how to use Zoom or the internet correctly.
This was all through Zoom?
All through Zoom, yes, because they can't be face-to-face.
You were going to a theater,
as it were. Well, Matt, in the COVID era, there's not much that would get me out of the house. Perhaps a house party reunion. Maybe for charity.
What about plexiglass?
Is plexiglass enough, Matt? Is plexiglass enough?
Last night, one of them apparently thought it was.
I went to a wedding, a family member's wedding I had to go to.
Yeah.
I wore 2 masks. I wore a plastic face visor. I wore a hat to cover my hair. Had gloves on, had arms, long sleeve shirt, everything. Immediately went back to the car, sprayed a bunch of Lysol, danced around in it like I'm putting on cologne. Took everything off, put it in a garbage bag. Wow. Lysoled myself again. Handy wiped my hands, got in the car, and drove right home after the ceremony. No contact with anyone.
What about everybody else? Were they wearing that much with snowsuits like you were?
No, there were 3 people there in masks. That's why. Because there were people there. They said masks optional. Gotcha. You tell me the masks are mandatory, and I go, okay, we're all going to take this seriously. We're all for real. But you say masks are optional, and you got like 90% of people not wearing masks? Like, come on. I don't like those odds.
Were they all from the same family?
No, family, social circle. And let me say this in fairness, most of them are from an area of California that hasn't been as affected. That's not my issue. My issue is people were coming in from all over the country, from different areas that might be, and I just don't want to mess with it. I just don't want to.
And that's your prerogative, and you'll feel safer and be safer for it.
Yeah, and so maybe I overdid. I had to have people in the house the other day. We had an issue with our hot water heater, and they showed up. They were wearing like the beekeeper suit. Because they know that's what customers care about. They want to feel safe letting people come into their home, and I applaud that. And, and I'll be the first one to say, much like, during the war on terror, when they say a lot of it was security theater that we went through. And I think with COVID, it's kind of the same thing. Does maybe 10% of it actually help and prevent? But if that other 90% gives you that peace of mind, I think that's what's important. So people can feel comfortable trying to go about their day-to-day lives.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's all about the comfort level. But yes, the house party reunion, I might put on the hazmat suit to go attend that in person. I would donate probably $500 to a charity of his choosing. If Kid personally would teach me how to do the Kid and Play kick step, and I could do it with Kid, that's worth $500 of my hard-earned money.
Can't do it through Zoom.
I know, can't do that through Zoom. Matt, could you do the Kid and Play kick step back in the day?
Yes. That was pretty easy.
Did you do the thing though where you grab your foot and then jump through it with the other one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, that wasn't hard. It's just like jumping a low jump rope.
I really
when you think about it. It's only about a foot high. It's only about a good 1.5 feet in the air.
Well, maybe for you. I mean, what's your vertical leap?
At my highest, legit, 36. Vince Carter's was like 39 at 5-star King. That's how I know this. Mine was 36.
Well, there you go. So for you, yes, easy. Plus, you got those long legs. I mean, come on. Like, this is easy. Me, Mr. 30-inch inseam over here. Like, not so simple.
Folks, look this up. I want to say Vince Carter's was 42 in the NBA, but there at that camp, it was 38.5, 39. Sorry. That's going to bug me all night now.
Aside from memories of the Kid and Play, which we could talk about for an entire hour, SmackDown tonight. What'd you think of SmackDown tonight on the Fox, the FS1?
Everything, like, because Roman is doing what he's doing right now and what they're doing with him, they can't go wrong. I don't care if the entire show stinks up until Roman comes on.
Wow.
Anything from his segment comes on, then for me, it's always a hit. The whole show. That's how, like, big of a deal I feel in what they've done with him and how intriguing it is and everything. And I really believe that, which is crazy because I would never let any other storyline, just one, pull up an entire show from an eh to an A.
Wow.
But because I'm so intrigued by it, I'm just being honest. I love watching SmackDown.
From an eh to an A. That's a title for a book right there, Matt. Yeah. Like, what was it John Ritter used to do the infomercials from, where there's a will, there's an A? From an eh to an A.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yes. So we're going to get into SmackDown, go segment by segment. We learned the stipulation for the I Quit match at Hell in a Cell. Someone's going to be excommunicated from the family, from the tribe, if they lose. We saw Bianca Belair make her re-debut tonight on SmackDown in the ring. Chad Gable, Shorty G. What's going on there? Shorty G quitting, Chad Gable reborn. There was a lot to like. Seth Rollins toured up with the Mysterios. I could make more sarcastic comments about that, but I'll save that for the segment. There's a lot to talk about. Let's take a couple of these super chats, then get into it. Nate Monroe, $4.99, saying, Matt, how hard is it to book a finish with someone who has a submission finisher and they're going over?
Not hard. Not hard at all. Because if he's talking about, you lose a little bit of the false finish factor of the end of the match, which always is my favorite part of a match, even matches I'm in. But with that said, the reason I don't like submissions as a finisher is because look at the statistics. Most people get out and get to the ropes to make that finisher break. So I'd be like everybody and their mother kicking out of my carbon footprint, right? It's not as a big deal if people continue to kick out of your finisher. It's not as big a deal if everybody gets to make it to the ropes. Samoa Joe, for instance, with his Anaconda, not Anaconda, what was his gimmick called? God dang it, he used to choke everybody out with it.
The clutch.
The Samoan submit. What was it called?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, Coquina Clutch.
That's right.
The Coquina Clutch. Kokina. Coquina Brada. Clutch. Dude, nobody got out of that ever.
Yeah.
Like at first. So I don't think it's hard to book around. I just think you lose. The person who uses it loses a little bit of it meaning so much as a finisher because everybody gets out of it somehow.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed, I don't know. I think it's not as suspenseful as a 1, 2, 3. I think you're waiting much longer during a submission move. But I don't like when people tap out quickly either. I think that's probably the greatest sign of weakness in professional wrestling is when they get you in the submission move and you just start tapping out before it's even locked in.
It is.
Chrono Shot, $2, is asking, did I like and enjoy the Jericho and MJF segment on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday night? What did you think of that, Matt?
I did. I thought it was different. I thought they swung for the fences and something different. And most people seemed like they hated it. I didn't. I liked it.
I thought it was good. Believe it or not, that's not my favorite era of Broadway and that style of musical. They did Me in My Shadow.
Are you really breaking that part of it down?
Well, Matt, you just say musical number. Musical number can mean a lot of things. I mean, think about that for a second, right? Musical is a
way
wide
too
genre.
deep. Oh, it is, but you're two wrestlers performing a musical.
Yes.
That was pretty good, I thought.
Matt,
MJF's a legit singer, so I thought he did a good job.
MJF did sound very good. But Matt, if I said to you, we're going to see a musical tonight, and you show up and you're expecting Grease, and we go see Les Mis, you're going to be like, I feel like I got a little hoodwinked on this one.
Yeah.
You know, I'm saying they're not all created equal, you know, in terms of style. And people like the Music Man and Bye Bye Birdie. Not really my cup of tea, but I know some people like more that old
Music Man was good. I like Music Man.
Interesting. Got range. I'm really a fan of the older ones. I like Hair a lot. I thought Hair was really good.
Hair is good. That's why. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, soundtrack to Hair was amazing. Just as an album, the soundtrack to Hair is incredible.
I actually legit had to shoot record of it.
Yeah. And I think that's I think it just varies. But no, I give AEW points for trying. I thought it was entertaining. Justin Lopez, $5 asking, did you hear what Cornette said about the musical? He thinks MJF lost his image and won't be taken seriously anymore. I felt like they did sand a couple corners. Maybe a corner they sanded off MJF with that segment.
Yeah, it won't last. It will literally last until he gets on the microphone again in the middle of a ring and cuts another one of his scathing heel promos. That's why he's so good. He can always come right back, and he is Jericho-esque in that matter. Meaning, Jericho can literally throw his suit and tie on back like he wasn't back in WWE, cut his hair short again, and come out with his monotone voice and cut a heel promo, and you will take him seriously like that as he's doing it, because they're that good. Nobody else could do this. Let me be very clear. There's not a talent in this business that wouldn't be ruined by that musical, in my opinion. Both of these can do it and get away with it because they are that good.
And I will say this, they did put a lot of effort into that, rewriting the lyrics, recording it. If WWE had done something like that, it would have been a public domain song, or they would have written some terrible spoof of some generic sounding thing.
I like them taking a swing. That's the bigger part of it. I do. But now I'll be honest, the angle between the two of them, I'm not crazy about, because I don't know where they're going with it. And I don't know who's supposed to be the heel, who's supposed to be the face. Are they both supposed to be heels? I guess is what it feels like. So that part of it's kind of confusing. But again, was I entertained? Yeah. Was I expecting them to do that? Hell no. In today's day and age, guys, I'm a fan of that.
I saw that on Twitter, and I just couldn't believe it. I was very impressed that they tried. So again, not my favorite style of musical, but no, A+ for effort. And the execution, I think, was fantastic, even though it's not 100% my thing.
I thought that was voiced over singing. I didn't know that was
I did
really
the two
them.
first.
So I went back and watched the game. I was like, holy crap, MJF really is a good singer.
Before they start changing the lyrics, I absolutely thought they were lip syncing to an already existing track. So I give them credit for that. Jamie Kohowski, $5, saying best episode of SmackDown in years. Wow, in years.
I like that.
Bianca Belair finally won me over. Ms. Otis was well done. My wife, who doesn't watch, fell in love with Montez.
Okay, timeout. What do you mean Bianca finally won me over? You make it sound like she was some J-Brown that nobody on this show has been screaming and ranting and raving that is a main event stud star waiting to happen.
Yeah.
This is not some like, wow, this was her like breakout moment. Everybody could see this woman's potential from a mile away. You have to be blind not to see it. She has no weakness. Literally.
No, absolutely. I agree. She was fantastic. Antoine Fair, $5, saying, I heard the J. Roman stip is him saying, if he says I quit and didn't say Roman is chief, then that would be excommunicated. So that set up the heel stable, perhaps, with the Usos having like a rival tribe, perhaps.
No, they need to be in the tribe with Roman if there's going to be a stable. Otherwise, that thing will fall flat on its face. You can't have the Usos just have their own stable with what? Who? No, that wouldn't work. They have to be with Roman if there is a stable at all. But the excommunicating part, geez, like that's pretty stiff.
Yeah,
that's serious.
No, I agree. I think definitely adds stakes. Joni Shauna Jenkins, $5 Canadian. That's like...
Here we go, Jody Shauna. Read that first sentence.
Nobody could touch MJF right now. If he ever goes to WWE, he'll be the next megastar, not even close.
Thank you, Jody Shauna. Amen.
Yeah. So, diving into tonight,
Can I just add one last thing to MJF?
Yeah,
it
please.
Shows his insanely crazy range. He's got amazing range, and he is so young.
He heals. He is a better 24/7 heel. I'm even trying to think who the next person is. Like Miz will act like a heel on WWE TV, and then he's doing charity stuff in the reality show and goofy shit. Like it dilutes him. I mean, seeing MJF backstage at StarCast, like away from people still being in character.
Love it.
It's remarkable. It's remarkable how he does it. The man is a performance artist, and that's something we don't see much anymore in wrestling. So we open tonight with the KO show, and he invites Daniel Bryan out. KO pitching Daniel Bryan on forming a tag team together. And Matt, they did your favorite thing to open the show. Before they could get too into talking about their hypothetical tag team, they were interrupted by Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, who came out and started cutting a promo that they're the best tag team. Then they were interrupted by Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits. And then they were interrupted by Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. And at some point they said, hey, we got 8 guys out here. Let's make a 4-way tag match.
Yeah, that's so annoying. But here's my question. Did I miss something? Why did KO just all of a sudden say, hey, Daniel Bryan, let's form a tag team? Did I miss the hook on that?
Because he said he's never been a tag champ before. So, I mean, it seemed kind of thin.
More, and that's why, and that's why it's even more reason why I don't like these bam, bam, bam things that they start the shows off with, and everybody interrupts each other. Sometimes it works in singles, like contention for the championship or something like that, but I don't know. Like I've seen when what was it? Triple H was champion, then Orton would come out as a babyface and try to one-up him, and then like Benoit would come out after that and interrupt him. Then Shawn Michaels would come like that, or Goldberg. That would work. But like this had nothing, no meat to the bones on it, and you just randomly threw Daniel Bryan out there again, which I'm not a fan of them doing, and just say, hey, let's be a tag team. Want to be a tag team? I'll be a tag team. Hey, we just become best friends.
The biggest development, I thought, it was a 4 versus 4 match. It was 2 tag teams pairing up together as opposed to the 4-way tag match. But I know, Matt, but there are some people that will comment on YouTube and say it wasn't a 4-way tag match. It was a 8-man tag 4 versus 4.
Oh my God.
It's like, if you're living to fact check and correct the Wrestling Inc. podcast.
I'm begging you all to breathe. Get a life. And there's so many more things to be much more critical about, or not even be critical. Just be happy about.
Just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Yes. So the most consequential thing that was said was Daniel Bryan was out there. Daniel Bryan was talking like the GM of SmackDown. Did you notice that tonight?
Yes, I did a little bit. He did seem yes.
And he said he wants the Intercontinental title to essentially become the new TV title, defended every week on SmackDown, which was interesting. And based on that promo backstage and Sami Zayn's protest, it looks like it's happening. So I would actually be in favor of Daniel Bryan coming back, better than Adam Pearce, producer Adam Pearce.
It would, but I want Daniel Bryan wrestling. I like Daniel
Bryan
both. Wrestling.
He could be a GM that wrestles.
Okay, I'm down with that.
So this match went on for a phenomenally long time, which is weird for a show that was like pretty good. Past this, I don't know why they gave us the first 40 minutes, half an hour of the show with this. It's weird to put the filler up front, but maybe because they were on FS1, maybe they were hoping baseball would end early. People would turn over after. This felt very odd to front load the show this way. Because it picked up steam from there. Chris Panaleo, Buck99, his pet peeve, unadvertised on-the-spot matches. I like impromptu matches, but this formula is just... You know what I'd be a fan of, Matt? If they did the I'm going to start cutting a promo and then get interrupted thing, if they do that for an entire show, I want to see if they can do an entire 2 hours of SmackDown of nobody gets to complete a promo because somebody else keeps coming out to the ring and cutting them off. I would say do that, then retire this gimmick forever.
Yes.
Just get done with it. Joey Dorjan's pointing out there were rumors today that they had to rewrite SmackDown because it wasn't on Fox. On FS1, this is going to be probably in the 3 lowest rated SmackDowns of the year, which is unfortunate
because it was a great episode.
Absolutely. So after this match, we saw Law and Otis, the start of the court hearings between The Miz suing Otis for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Ron Simmons was there as the court deputy. JBL was the judge. Mrs. Lawyer talking about emotional distress, wanton destruction of property, creating an unsafe work environment. Matt, you hate this adjective. This was very cute, I thought, the way they set this all up.
It was, but the weak attempt of like, oh, JBL's the judge and whatever. It's like a play on wrestlers' court a little bit, even though Taker was kind of the judge. But it served its purpose. Again, I'm no offense to Otis. I'm just not a fan of any of the storyline stuff.
And they stretched this out tonight, but this was okay. I mean, I kind of knew where it was going, but then let's talk about this: Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega. This was fantastic. I mean, Bianca got in so much offense. It's a shame from Zelina's perspective, being on SmackDown now, that she had to eat the pin here on this. But I thought Bianca looked like $1 million.
She did. And to be fair, like Zelina could get back on the microphone. She's another one that could get on the mic next week and get her steam and get her heat back. And this was a no-brainer, obviously. Bianca had to win, and I hope they continue this. I don't want to see her somehow get screwed over in Schoolboy with, the tights pulled by Zelina next week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to see that. Just continue this slow crescendo with Belair nonstop winning.
I wouldn't be shocked if they don't add a rematch to the Hell in a Cell kickoff show on Sunday.
Well, she better win again.
Yes. This tells you something about MJF. Tina Miller, $5. We're talking about a good SmackDown, and people in the super chat are like, I want to spend money for a second just to talk more about MJF. Tina Miller saying one last thing on MJF. He's a weasel heel, so he can get by with it. Brock cannot. Yes. You know how I feel about this? I'll let loose on the haters. I think Brock.
Good job.
When Brock shows range, that's what makes me like Brock. Show me Brock dancing in the with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Good. It's not good because it doesn't make you hate him, which is what you're supposed to be as a heel.
That's true.
MJF can do something like this.
But
make you hate him next week. Bianca
back to SmackDown. Justin Lopez, $5. Bianca might be the best built from scratch talent to come out of the Performance Center.
It could be. That book is still yet to be written, Justin. We got time to see that develop, and I hope that one day may be true. But is Roman? No, he wasn't built there.
Did you just quote Natasha Bedingfield with an unwritten reference?
Well, no, I was just saying like it's our first match. Like, how the hell are you already saying that's the best talent that ever came out of the PC? You can't say that yet.
It's true. The future's still unwritten. Natasha tried to tell us.
I said that book has not been written yet.
Yes, I know. I don't remember the exact lyric because I haven't listened to that song probably in a good 13 years. Matt, it's Friday night.
All right.
I bothered to show up. I got a new Back to the Future 4K Blu-ray waiting for me downstairs that I'm going to be diving into after this podcast.
With that said, the next match was...
Well, let's talk about Lars Sullivan versus Shorty G. And this should tell you something about the interwebs and social media and the issue with Lars Sullivan. Matt, did you know Lars Sullivan's the Freak? And
I wasn't sure about it, but after tonight I was. Last week they didn't say it enough.
Yeah, so he's out there. He squashed Shorty G. Shorty G after says I quit. Backstage cuts a promo, starts talking about his accomplishments, the accomplishments of one Chad Gable. He quits being Shorty G. He's going back to being Chad Gable. And here's the thing. The guy that got squashed in the match was the one Twitter was all lit ablaze with. No one saying, oh my God, look at Lars the Freak, how dominant he is. It was, thank God, Shorty G is dead. Long live Chad Gable. There was some hope to get his career back on track.
There is. And I'm very hopeful for him because he's very talented.
Very talented. American Alpha was fantastic. Still
good.
A shame that they broke them up. So Shorty G is dead. Chad Gable lives on. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with him. I hope Chad Gable doesn't get his ass kicked by Lars Sullivan next week. But knowing WWE.
He will, but it won't matter. At least not having a corny name.
Yes. So Shorty G sounds like the greatest 80s cartoon that never was, perhaps. Late 80s. Like Fox was like, we're going to have a hip-hop cartoon on Saturday morning. Shorty G, this fall on Fox Kids. What was your favorite of the Saturday morning cartoons, Matt, growing up?
Honestly, it felt like the whole day, because I used to watch the Friday night beforehand when they did the fall breakdown. Premieres. I was always so excited to watch that on Fridays. But man, I mean, I watched Smurfs. I watched. Oh God, where's some of the Hanna-Barbera?
Hanna-Barbera. Well, they did the Wacky Races. They did the Flintstones, Flintstone Kids. Yeah, Hanna-Barbera was quite a powerhouse of cartoons. I liked Drak Pack. I thought was cool when I was a kid. I liked when they do the in space ones, like Gilligan's Island in space. It would always be some Josie and the Pussycats in space.
There you go.
They would just because space was huge and over with the kids. And when I think about Saturday morning cartoons, I think about cereal and breakfast cereal.
Yes.
Just how fantastic breakfast cereal was growing up. It's like, parents, if you want to buy your children's love, give them the sugar breakfast cereal. Don't do what my parents did and be like, well, you can have your shredded wheat or your Crispix. And shredded wheat, half of it's sweet. The rest of it tastes like packing material. No, I want the Apple Jacks. I want the Fruit Loops. I want the Frosted Flakes. I want the Cocoa Puffs. I want the Boo Berry. I want something I could put the milk into, and I'm gonna be left with chocolate milk after and flavored milk. But here's Golden Grams was awesome. And here's the thing about those cereals we grew up with is they were terrible for you. They were all sugar and fat and things you shouldn't be eating and unhealthy. And you can't eat it like that as an adult. You can't live your life that way anymore. But now you can with the sponsor of this episode. And that is Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon has captured all the magic of your favorite sweet, delicious childhood cereals and reinvented that in a formula that has 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. The variety pack has 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry. And there's some other flavors if you go to the website too. We're not supposed to mention it, but you can order them as well. And I'll offer applause with that. They've got peanut butter. They've got apple cinnamon. They've got a new fall flavors pack. They've got a lot of great stuff.
Peanut butter.
I know, Matt. We'll have to hook you up.
Because guys, this really does legit taste like those childhood favorite cereals. I'm not exaggerating that. Usually stuff that is this healthy tastes like garbage. I know because I eat that dry, nasty fish, jasmine rice. I eat immaculately. All right. And the foods never really taste good. You just know you're going to look good from eating this cardboard tasting crap all day. So when you get something like this, I'm telling you, I questioned it like my first 2 bowls. There is no way in hell that this does not have sugar. There's no way. And but I was wrong. And it tastes just like your favorites. I swear to God, I would not be at you guys. You never hear me talk about a lot of our advertisers and things like that. I gotta, this is something I 1000% believe in. It's so good.
No, Magic Spoon tastes amazing. Honestly, too good to be true. I came downstairs last Saturday morning, and my wife was eating a big bowl of frosted Magic Spoon, and she was watching episodes of Kid Video from like 1983 on YouTube. It takes you back. It's like opening a portal to childhood nostalgia. So you provide the cartoons. Well, YouTube will provide those. Magic Spoon's going to provide the cereal, and it's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. In my house, fruity and frosted are what it's all about. And the blueberry is just like blueberry. That's
my favorite.
Everybody raves about it. So here's what we want you to do. Go to magicspoon.com/WINC to grab a variety pack. Try it today. And be sure to use our promo code WINC at checkout, and you're going to get free shipping. And this is awesome. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product. It is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. And let me tell you, you're not just going to be happy with the cereal. You're going to eat this. You're just going to be happy. You're going to feel good. You're going to think back to a simpler time when the world wasn't so screwed up, when you had fewer problems, less responsibility. I'm telling you, eat the Magic Spoon, watch a cartoon, travel back, have that nostalgia trip. It's going to just make you so happy, and you're going to feel great after you eat it. That's magicspoon.com/WINC. Use that code WINC for free shipping. And hey, we thank Magic Spoon for sponsoring the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Magic Spoon, get this man some peanut butter Magic Spoon. Ship it to him. Matt Morgan.
Please.
Longwood, Florida. Make it happen. So Dustin Eck with a $10 super chat. Wow, Raj Giri's just raking it in, not showing up. Unrelated to SmackDown, but honestly, I don't know if Vince WWE has control of Zelina and Alistair's Twitch because they're still cursing like a mofo. They don't give an F. Who knows? Did that switch actually happen? Did they take control? I know Andrew Yang was on Jericho's podcast this week. I haven't listened to that yet.
I got to go watch that. I listened to it, yeah.
No, that'll be very interesting. Also, some interesting call-outs in the chat room. Bernie DC liked to laugh Olympics. Holden Caulfield, Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Ooh. Space Ghost was very good.
Came you with a Muppets reference of Pigs in Space. Tina Miller.
In space, yeah.
Tina Miller saying Scooby-Doo, Johnny Quest. Oh, man. DuckTales. Have you watched the new DuckTales, Matt? They brought it back.
Yes. No, I have not, but I used to love that show. I used to watch it after school, though.
Yeah. Oh, man. DuckTales. The new DuckTales is like seriously good.
Dude,
really.
does Scrooge McDuck still like dive into the vault?
I believe that's in the credits.
Of money? Well, yeah, it is in the. It is.
Yeah. Anthony Y wants to know, do they have a Fruit Loops version? That's what Fruity is. Let me just clarify about that.
Yep.
Yeah, so Fruity is like Fruit Loops, Frosted's like Frosted Flakes, Blueberries like Blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of see a pattern going here. Cocoa is like Cocoa Puffs. Yeah, so it's fantastic. And seriously, and we've heard great stuff on Twitter. People saying that they can't eat soy, they can't eat grain. Magic Spoon is so great.
I couldn't believe it was gluten free. I couldn't. Real quick, what's the peanut butter one though? What do we think that's a play on? Reese's peanut butter puffs or?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What was the great peanut butter cereal of our
Reese's
youth?
Peanut butter puffs we were older though when that came out.
Yeah. I think like Apple Cinnamon is like a little bit of a nod to Apple Jacks. Like they've got this down. Yeah. They know what they're doing. They're evil geniuses.
Because it's identical.
Seriously, it's really insane how much people love the Magic Spoon. So back to the show tonight. Bayley out there with her steel chair and cutting this promo on Sasha, getting her out there to face her tonight. What did you think of this, of Sasha coming out and using the chair, forcing Bayley to sign that contract for Hell in a Cell on Sunday?
Say that again?
So, I mean, I think it's funny because it's a signed contract, but Matt, even, someone that's even just watched LA Law, let alone went to law school, knows that a contract signed under duress where you're being forced is not legally binding. So I think Sasha, huge flaws in her strategy there. But seriously, what did you think of the promo that Bayley did calling Sasha an ungrateful brat? This was a little different, I think, because Bayley check this out. Bayley is now becoming like more and more an uncool heel. Like that's kind of, I feel like, becoming more her shtick. And maybe part of it's because Sasha's so cool. And when she was aligned with Sasha, it made Bayley cooler. But when you're facing Sasha...
See, I never thought Bayley was cool. No, I thought she was always kind of dorky and like on the outside, overselling, overreacting. If she's on the outside of the apron while Sasha was in the ring kicking somebody's butt and she was out there to be her cheerleader or manager, go back and watch. She was super corny, super over the top with her expressions.
Baby Maharaja. Bayley was never cool.
Which I think works. I think her heel heat right now is awesome. I love it. I'm entertained by it.
I think it's good, but Sasha, man, like
that's what this is supposed to do. That's what this is supposed to do. The mark of a good heel is making that babyface by proxy get cheered louder, seem cooler, seem funnier, seem better.
And so who goes over Sunday at Hell in a Cell?
It should be Sasha, but I'm gonna say Sasha. I'm gonna stick with Sasha.
Okay, there you go. I'm looking forward to that match more than any other match at Hell in a Cell.
I'm looking forward to Roman more, but this is my 1B, I would say. Maybe number 2, 1B. I'm looking forward to this more than McIntyre versus Randy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is unpopular. McIntyre versus Randy feels like it's been going on since I was 25 years old.
It's going to be good, though, but it's like my 3rd or 4th on the list for this pay-per-view.
What's the longest feud you were ever involved in?
Main Event Mafia, like a year.
Okay. But I'm talking like with one opponent.
Maybe Abyss, because we started as a tag team and we knew we were going to be being opponents for 3 straight months as well. That was like 8 months, 9 months. Okay.
But did you still feel the passion at the end of it? Like,
because we knew where we were going with it. But it wasn't like what you're saying and what you're seeing with Randy versus Drew, in which they just wrestle against each other right away. Here's the heel, here's the face, go. And they have just an abundance of matches. The stuff with these guys, like the business stuff, was storyline. It was promo related. It was being a tag team at first until me getting sick of his ass making us lose and then turning on him. Things like that. So it was fun to get to that part 3 to 4 months later after being a tag team and then finally turning on him and being a heel, which I was dying to become. So there's a new lease on life. And then, so it's different. It's not the same type of comparison. Saying.
And Lars Sullivan tonight going extra heel. The playbook, Matt, that you know all too well, he dyed his beard like extra dark or black to make him look,
That does it. That's what does it.
Maybe he's just going through a goth phase. Did anyone ever say that to you back when you dyed your hair? It's like maybe he just really likes Joy Division and The Cure. Big Bauhaus fan,
No.
So back to Law and Otis tonight. I mean, this was the best part. Were the witnesses Rey Mysterio, Asuka, coming up there. I thought that was really entertaining as hell. But this idea that the verdict comes in, Otis wins clean in the courtroom, and then the Miz bribes JBL, and then JBL finds for the Miz and says, okay, instead they're going to have a match at Hell in a Cell for the Money in the Bank briefcase. I mean, I just want this to be over with.
It will be, and the right person's going to take this, and it's going to be Miz. It needs to be Miz. Miz has got to take this briefcase from him. It's a waste of time. Nobody cares about this briefcase anymore like we should be caring about it. No offense to Otis. I just don't dig the storyline with him.
Yeah, I think the ham sandwich was probably when the briefcase jumped the shark.
He's just such a rip. Like, it feels just like a bad knockoff of Chris Farley at times. And it's not his fault. He's being booked this way and being told how to play this. It's not his fault, but I'm just giving my reasons why I don't like his stuff.
Jody Sean Jenkins, Canadian $5. That's like $5.50 American, saying best long-earning feud for me was the rise of Goldberg versus all WCW. Then he took down Hogan for the belt. That was going wild. It was so good.
That's not an angle, though.
Yeah, I mean, that was more about Goldberg. That wasn't really a feud. For a feud, you need like good two sides.
Yeah,
going at it. Jeff Peters, $5, saying Hurt Business is good. Good stories about you and Lashley.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Krana Shah saying Ms. bribed JBL with a briefcase full of Blue Chew. JBL, if you want to hook up, send me a DM. They're open. And John Cena's Bald Spot, your favorite name in the chat room, saying 30 Years of the Dead Man begins Sunday. A new episode appears every week for 5 weeks. Looking forward to it. Should be another great series.
Okay, it is, but I don't like that crap where I got to wait a week. Do what Netflix does. Put them all out there, WWE, at the same time.
Just after The Undertaker passes away, Vince is going to just keep finding a way to wring more content.
This is what they said about Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan would be 6 feet under, and somehow Vince will still find a way to continue to cash that check.
If we didn't just have a monumental Undertaker miniseries, that's what they should do, Matt. They should do a fictional adaptation.
Give
me like a like a TV movie of the week on the WWE Network. We'll cast an actor as like young Undertaker. They should go the biopic treatment, because at this point, I mean, come on. Like, Vince is just looking for ways to merchandise this guy still.
This is true. Speaking of come on.
Yes. Speaking of coming on. Seth Rollins versus Murphy.
This is a good match. Or no, this was.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so it was gonna be. The stuff with the Mysterio family. Look, I just want this to be done. Can we give them a big thing at Hell in a Cell and just keep them apart from each other?
Please, for the love of God. Yes, please. I do want to see Murphy versus Rollins, though. I actually do want to see that.
I want Murphy to go over.
Me too.
I really dislike Seth Rollins at this point. And don't give me the, he's a heel, you're supposed to dislike him.
Oh, you mean really? Shoot. See, I think it'll be good to get. I do like Seth Rollins. I'm not a fan of the Messiah stuff, right? I think he doesn't need that. But he's so amazing in that ring. He's one of my favorite guys to watch wrestle. So him putting over, I'm going to do it again, old boy Murphy. If you guys have go back and watch these shows, how long has it been since I've said old boy or old girl?
Yeah, and where's our talented fans? I want them to Photoshop the movie poster for Old Boy to put Matt Morgan's face right on there. And
what is, you got to talk
Old
about
Boy?
So people understand. What is Old Boy?
Old Boy is a Korean action film. They remade it in the U.S. with Josh Brolin. It's a fantastic action movie. And like a really interesting drama and story. But yes, it's called Old Boy. So there you go. I want Old Boy with Matt Morgan's face superimposed on the poster.
You do know that's like a not slogan, but what's the word? A whatchamacallit when you can't think of the word or the name, like homeboy or homegirl or old boy.
It's funny that you can't think of the name for the placeholder. That's what's funny about this.
That's pathetic. That's what it is. It's sad. That's just my concussions coming through, folks.
Manny Fresh, $5 saying Mysterio. Manny, I like the name. Makes me think of Real Big. I'm happy inside. I'm singing it in my head. Mysterio kids need acting classes badly. It's torture hearing them speak like they're trying to remember their lines. BT Dubs, a pup named Scooby-Doo for the win.
Okay, here we go. Yes, it was. I'll give you another one. Captain Caveman and Son. Do you remember that one?
I do indeed. I gotta have a marathon of some Saturday morning cartoons. But watching those 80s commercials lately, most of those come from Saturday morning cartoons. Snorks were just bootleg Smurfs under seas. Man.
They were, but my two girl cousins, Sarah and Julia, I'd have to stay with on Saturday mornings. We had to watch it because of them. And that, you're right, that was like the lull in my morning.
Yeah. But Thundercats was the bomb.
They were not a Saturday morning.
Weren't they on Saturday morning? I know they were on the weekdays also. Well, G.I. Joe was a weekday cartoon.
Yes, same.
I remember they had the G.I. Joe movie. They broke up into the 5 parts.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, good times. Chris Pantaleo, $4.99, saying they should make an Undertaker cartoon in the old Wild West setting, like Brave Star, where he's the main hero with supernatural powers. I'd watch that.
That would work. That would work.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about like Rubik's The Amazing Cube and the Littles, Pac-Man, the Dragon's Lair cartoon.
Oh, Pac-Man, yeah.
Yeah, Dragon's Lair was awesome because the game was a cartoon, so it worked very well. Back to this gimmick tonight. Here's what I didn't like. I didn't like all the I'm the Messiah, you're the disciple. I'm the Messiah, you're the disciple. Like, I'm just saying Moses didn't pull that shit with his followers. Jesus Christ, great man, but perhaps his greatest accomplishment, in my opinion, he was the son of God, and he wasn't a dick about it to people. And I think humbleness, number one quality a Messiah should have.
Okay, but we get why. He's being the jerky heel, and it makes you like Murphy that much more, hopefully.
It's true. Alexander the Great, not great to his people, self-proclaimed Messiah. Look how it worked out for him. You could tell I was looking up messiahs on Wikipedia during this segment because I was just kind of bored. Learned a lot about the Macedonian Empire. Anyhow, in this, Seth Rollins won. And then after he got the kendo stick, oh no, what now?
Yes.
Leah asking her dad to go help Murphy. I mean, just let Murphy and Aaliyah be together and let's all move on to something.
Please,
else.
For the love of God, yes.
Something.
So,
anything.
Following that match was...
And Michael the Virus, I want to point this out. He should be the SmackDown savior.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would be so much better.
Good. Yes, it would.
So much better.
It'd get them away from stupid biblical, like biblical and whatever they're trying to do with him that makes it feel so acting and hokey. SmackDown Savior sounds like AJ saying he's the face that runs the place. You know what I mean? It's you're not gonna have to write crappy promos for him if they call him SmackDown Savior.
This is a weird question, but you were around. Is Vince McMahon a religious man? Do you think he's ever read the Bible?
I don't have an answer for that. Honestly, I never got that vibe from him, but I also didn't get it. I did not get it from him. Like nothing. Indifferent.
Okay. Just curious. We hear a lot of gossip about Vince. We know he's a huge patriot. We know he loves celebrating important milestones in American history. But yeah, you never hear about that. Just curious. So also with Aaliyah, how must it be having that name to where you grow up in life and you think there's the R&B singer, so I'm never going to be that. It's like growing up with the name Denzel. But then there's another Aaliyah in WWE and NXT. Just, that's her burden to carry.
But we're spending way too much time talking about an angle that we both just said we don't like.
I know. So let's talk about Roman backstage. It wasn't really much of a feast. It was more like a deli tray. And, some bread. But then he comes out to the ring with Paul Heyman, and then we think we're going to get an address from Jay, but Jay's wearing a mask and talking some trash. And then it turns out that it's his brother Jay. Pardon me. It was revealed that it was Jimmy.
Those.
Yes, Jimmy, not Jay. They're twins. I'm allowed to get them confused. And then Jay is right behind Roman and starts attacking him. And this was interesting. Jay came out and Jay and Jimmy were standing on the ramp. And then Roman announces that the stipulation for their Hell in a Cell match is that it's going to be an I quit match. If Roman says he quits, Roman loses the championship. If Jay quits, he's out of the family. He's out of the tribe. Not only him, his brother Jimmy, their wives, their children, their children's children. Yeah. They're just out of the family. Yeah. And that's the consequence. And I thought that was an interesting way to go off the air. Definitely added some stakes.
It did. Again, this whole different culture that they're playing into is I love it. I'm very intrigued by it. It's all real. Like my wife, I could fact check all this stuff there. And I'm being serious. It's so damn intriguing. And Roman's just continues to be the best thing right now, bar none. Although I love me some MJF, obviously. MJF is more talented, right? I believe, especially on the microphone. But Roman, as far as wrestling goes, the whole being the main event marquee match that you know what I mean? Like, he's the best thing going in the business right now.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly intrigued by this storyline.
And I think, like, this also shows up Seth even more. Seth and Roman should not be on the same show because Roman looks like $1 million doing his heel act, and I think Seth looks like
they'll switch eventually. I'm sure.
You think so? When I'm trying to think.
You don't think once he gets done with his Messiah stuff, he'll go back to Seth Rollins again?
Well, Seth's got paternity leave coming up in a couple months.
There you go. When he's done, they have a baby. He eventually comes back. He'll be Seth Rollins again. Seth friggin' Rollins.
Yes.
And heel Seth friggin' Rollins or babyface Seth friggin' Rollins, both are very good and much better than this Messiah stuff.
Babyface Seth coming back to challenge heel Roman
would be awesome. That works.
I'm into that. So this was a good show tonight. There was some good stuff.
When I said earlier about how anything Roman's on right now brings up the entire score of the show for me normally, but this show had so many great things on it that it didn't need it. Like, this was a very good SmackDown tonight.
Yeah.
Very good. And I'm going to give it, I always give 7s. You guys always complain about, or 7.5s. You guys ready for this one? I'm giving it an 8.8.
Wow. Decimals, like a GameSpot score.
Because it's better than an 8.5. It's not a 9. That was my thinking. It really was my thinking. 8.8. What are you giving it?
I don't know. I give it probably an 8, but I'll say if you watch this, watch the Daniel Bryan, just like watch the first like minute of that, and then when the tag teams come out, just skip ahead like 45 minutes.
No, fast forward to Bianca.
Yeah, to Bianca. Well, it felt like that opening segment.
Was that 45 minutes?
No, it was probably half an hour.
Wow, okay.
I can tell you this, my internet went out and I had to watch most of the first match on my phone, and I was shocked that when I got my internet back up, that was still going on. That match was still happening, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm trying to think, when's the last time there was an 8-man tag match? I mean, it's even rare that there's a tag match where you're like, oh my God, and there was this insane spot or this great sequence, which is unfortunate. Tag team wrestling is fantastic, and WWE just treats it like filler, not an opportunity to showcase talent.
It really does.
Yeah,
it sucks.
So I think that's all we got. Do we have any news stories? Nobody emailed me news stories, Matt. So I think we don't have news stories. But here's the deal. Sunday, Hell in a Cell. It's going to be me. It's going to be Matt Morgan. And who knows who the third
TBAs across the board. They don't care about you guys. They just don't. So stop talking to them on Twitter. Stop making little anecdotal, like, oh, we really need Justin LaBarbarian tonight. Or Raj saying, oh, I want to see NWO Raj tonight. Stop playing into it, folks. They're working you. They really don't like you. They're not your friends. We are your friends. We come on every night. Stop nervously laughing.
I was just thinking if Raj actually watched this podcast, I would get a text message.
Because it's true. We're here all the time.
I love that our chat room right now, that 50% of the talk is just Saturday morning cartoons.
That's why they're the best. Yes.
They're the best.
Yes.
Seriously. So I'm excited to watch my Back to the Future 4K Blu-ray. I watched the auditions last night. Oh
my God. Really?
Yeah. So I bought it because it's 4K. It's the best quality Back to the Future yet.
Okay. So I'm stupid. What does that mean, 4K? Like
4K?
What's so better about it?
Okay. So when we were growing up and you're watching the Thundercats and the G.I. Joe, that was 640 by 480 was like the pixel resolution.
Yep.
And there's a tube television. It was analog. You couldn't really tell what was going on. Now, fast forward to the year 2000. Remember, you got your first HD TV. Mm-hmm. You know, you had the projection. That was 720. So that was 1280 pixels wide by 720 tall. Around 2004, HD became 1920 by 1080. And that was the original Blu-ray, all the high def stuff you're used to seeing. Now, 4K is twice that. So it's 2000 or it's 4000 something wide by 2000 pixels tall. So they call it 4K because it's 4,000 pixels wide. So this is the sharpest picture, the best color representation, the smoothest motion. So this is actually better than watching it, or the same or better as watching it in most theaters now, because theaters aren't using analog film anymore. They're using 4K projectors that just put a digital print on the screen. So when you watch this at home, it's going to look incredible.
So like, what looks better is the color like pink. Is the color pink like more pink?
Well, let me tell you the big thing you get. You get brighter hues on the colors. Mm-hmm. You get brighter luminance with the white, but most importantly, you get darker black tones.
Do you know what my gauge for all that stuff was when all those numbers you just threw out there happened over the years?
Yeah.
Was watching football.
Yeah.
The football field for me is the one that was like, wow, this is a really good TV, or hey, this is really, legit. This is improvement.
Absolutely. So watch football in 4K, or Fox was showing the World Series tonight in 4K.
Oh, really?
Watch that on a 4K TV. You will notice the difference. Now,
so I have to go buy a 4K TV.
But here's the good news. 4K TVs, you can get a good one. There's one TCL makes one that's got a Roku built into it. It's 55 inches. It's like a $600 TV. Like, it's amazing how cheap these things are now. I remember paying $3,000 for something 20 years ago that I needed 3 people to carry upstairs. That was like a projection.
Oh, I had that.
Yeah.
It was a hand-me-down, but mine worked. And it was super thick, super big. Yeah, yeah.
So you look at it now, these things are paper thin, and the picture quality is incredible. So Back to the Future. I mean, look, we talked about this the other night. We were watching a thing on like presidents or Supreme Court, and they're talking about someone got sworn in on a family Bible. And I turned to my wife and said, "We don't have a family Bible."
Family Bible.
Yeah, some families. And she was like, "Well, we're not particularly religious." And I said, "So what would you swear on? You're telling the truth." And we decided I would swear on a copy of Back to the Future. That's our family Bible. That is the most sacred document in our family that we agree is perfection. And I believe in that. I believe in Back to the Future. So for me, if I swear on Back to the Future, I'm stone cold telling the truth.
Yikes.
Still the greatest film I've ever seen.
Oh,
hands down.
It was a great movie. Yeah.
Yes. Second, now my father, the rabbi, somewhere his ears are tingling. And he's saying, not the Old Testament, not Genesis, not Exodus, not Leviticus. No.
Yeah.
Love me some Bible, but come on. Have you seen Back to the Future? The Twin Pine, Lone Pine thing at the end? The Bible didn't have that. Just putting it out there. Twists you never see coming. Anyhow, before I put my foot totally in my mouth, Sunday night, Hell in a Cell. I'm going to go now. I'm going to watch Back to the Future. It's going to be glorious in 4K. But they do have extra auditions. It's only like 5 minutes. But you could see C. Thomas Howell as Marty McFly. You could see Billy Zane from Titanic as Biff. You could see Peter DeLuise as Biff. There's Ben Stiller as Marty McFly, which is super weird.
That is weird. That would never work. Oh my God.
It does not. C. Thomas Howell, though, would have probably been the next.
He was a huge star too.
Yeah, probably would have been the second best choice. Anyhow, on that note, catch you back here Sunday on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. Take care.
Bye, guys.